Hello and welcome to France 24's weekly music show. I'm Marjorie Hache and I'm delighted to welcome this week a musician whose career has spanned 6 decades. Initially nicknamed the Little JB or James Brown for his vocal range, he's worked with the likes of B.B. King, Dr. John, Betty Wright and Kool the Gang, to name but a few. His solo career really took off in the late 2000s when he joined forces with his band The Expressions. He's recently released his 5th studio album, Sentimental Fool. Lee Fields, thank you so much for joining us.
Marjorie, thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Now, your latest record was released on Brooklyn's world-famous Twain Records, which was the home of phenomenal music, Charles Bradley, Sharon Jones and Amy Winehouse. What did making this album with them mean to you?
It means a great deal to me because I'm working with a producer that I met prior to his glorious career, Gabriel Roth, which is, I think, is one of the greatest producers out here. Mm-hmm. And we had planned on doing this for a long time, and it finally materialized. So I'm very, very pleased, and I'm very happy.
Mm. Now, you're a mature gentleman of soul, and your new album is called Sentimental Fool. Despite experience, does one ever learn? And what advice would you give anyone who wants to protect their feelings?
Well, the advice I would give all young people today: if you're gonna have fun and be young and foolish, be foolish while you're young. Don't be an old fool. Don't do that. So have fun while you're young and do what makes you happy, but realize that the future is always there. So think of the future.
Do you think it's more painful having your heart broken or being a sentimental fool if you're older?
Oh yeah, I think so, because as a person matures in life, they're supposed to be wiser, and then to make foolish mistakes, especially being played, is I think is just totally. Not only is it humiliating, but it's sad.
And you've got less time to recover, I suppose.
That's right. That's right.
Well, how about we check out your beautiful track, which is called Sentimental Fool. The stunning title track of Lee Fields' new album, Sentimental Fool. Now, Lee, I was wanting to ask you about your age, because your career as a solo artist really took off in your 50s. And I read that you said, "I had no idea it would take as long as it did, but I never lost hope." Tell us a bit more about how you kept the faith and never gave up.
Well, first of all, I'm a Bible-believing person. And I believe that through faith, all things are possible. That alone took me through trying times. Every time that there was times of when I was in great despair, I did what my mother told me to do a long time ago. I got on my knees and prayed. And God is real, and I believe that, and He delivered.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy that He did.
And we're very happy you did too, for the music you bring. You've worked with incredible artists throughout the decades. Who are the artists that taught you the most?
Well, I learned a lot from French producer Martin Solveig. Mm-hmm. I learned a whole lot from him.
Really? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm hoping that sometime down the line we hook back up again and do another track. Mm-hmm. But I learned a lot from Martin. I learned a lot from Kool the Gang. And I learned extremely a lot from Gabriel Roth of Twain Records. Mm-hmm. I mean, and I think I learned more from him than anybody.
What kind of things did you learn from him?
Well, when I first met him, he was beyond his years. When I first met him, prior to formation of Daptone, before he started to record, I put it like that. I talked with him over the phone, and I thought he was a man well up in his years because he spoke so knowledgeable about the music business. But when I got out to Long Island to meet him, and he opened the door, I see this curly-haired kid. And I said, well, I want to speak with Mr. Roth. He said, I am. And I was totally amazed because he was way beyond his years in knowledge. And so when I saw him, he was just a kid. So Gabriel Roth, I learned more from him.
Yeah, and that's both musically and in terms of passion.
And we very good friends.
Mm-hmm. Going back to Martin Solveig, who is a French electronic pop pride here, how did you guys meet and start making those hits that emerged in the mid-2000s?
Well, he gave me a call and said he wanted to do a track, told me who he was, and we agreed on the track, and we met in New York, cut the track, and we worked together for about 5 years, and I was learning. It was a learning process. He was so young, but he had so much knowledge of how the business worked, and he had that charisma. Some people got a lot of charisma. He's one of those people. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also, he was young and he was doing electronic music, and you'd seen the arrival of disco in the 70s and 80s. And I think at that time you moved a little bit away from music for a short time. So was that you reigniting with music for electronic music as well? That's interesting.
Well, what happened in the 80s, after I thought I was at the end of my music career, and I was trying to find good reasons to sort of hold on. I was like mentally drained. Music business would take it out of you. And so I started reading the Bible to get hope because I had a family and I didn't spend all my life in music, so I didn't know what I was gonna do to take care of a family. But when I started reading, amazingly, when I started reading that book, the doors just began to open, and I read the old King James Version 1611 with all of the old English words in them, what it did, it opened my eyes to a lot of things, a lot of opportunities. So I attribute that to reading that old good book. Sometimes, let me tell these young people one thing. Sometimes you sit down and you got your cell phones, you have all of these TVs to look at, you have all kind of shows, but look, grab the Bible sometime.
It's a good read.
Sit down, and it's a good read. It's a good read.
And it will open you. Well, we're glad you're back on track and about to tour Europe. Go check out Lee Fields if you can. And for now, we're going to go and take a little look at some of the other new releases. And we head to Scotland first, where Edinburgh trio Young Fathers are this week releasing their 4th studio album, which is filled with indie-tronica and alternative hip-hop. Here's their joyful yet defiant single, Rise. A young band from Edinburgh in Scotland, that was Young Fathers. Lee, who are the young artists that are inspiring you these days?
Well, I like Megan Trainor. She has a tune out called I Made You Look. And I also like that new track by Miley Cyrus. I just heard it the other day. The name escapes me at the moment. But the new Miley Cyrus, I really like that.
Oh, cool. So good American artists. I've got a Congolese artist to introduce you to.
Okay.
And they're pretty fun. And now they're Congolese. They're called Lova. They have apparently recently moved to Paris, and they're releasing their new EP on Ninja Tunes. This is an incredible track and video through which he creatively highlights the lives of child gangs and Kinshasa Lolitas.
And Lova, beautiful name.
DRC's Lova. He's shaking things up in Kinshasa. So the fabulous stuff. What did you think of Lova?
I love him. The music is just incredible.
And the name alone. Well, thank you very much. This brings us to the end of this week's Encore Music Show. Reminder, do follow us on social media, Encore F24. And our latest news bulletin is coming up in just a few minutes, which gives me enough time to thank Lee Fields for coming on the show. And remember, absolute pleasure. Now, remember also his album, Sentimental Fool, is already available, and go check him out live if you can. We're going to play out with Shania Twain. Get ready to be impressed as she's back with a new album called Queen of Me. The Canadian country pop star is now in her 50s and still giving us a bit of a giddy up.
Jump in the air to your 10 feet high. Come on, make it join. Slide.